Episode 38, Blackburn Rovers, Football Manager, bada bing, bada boom. Right, so as you can probably tell, we've gone from the dizzy heights of a EFL Cup final, where I was suited and booted, to me recording a video like 10 minutes after I've just woken up. But I've got a very busy day today, so if I'm going to get a video out, I have to do it now. Right, so schedule-wise, filtered it down to just the Premier League, just to emphasise how we're seeing a repeat of last season. Last season, it kind of happened when Andre Gray got injured, and I can't really put my finger on exactly what's gone wrong for us in the Premier League for this, post-Christmas period. We lost 3-0 to Villa, we lost 5-0 to United, and lost to Spurs. Obviously, they were live comms. We were unlucky to lose to Liverpool, and it seemed like, we turned a new page just about. Undeservedly, we were 1-0 down against Newcastle, brought it back, got a point, beat Everton, and then we lost to Leicester. Now, this will be a game you guys will not have seen. We were actually 2-1 up, and people that have been following this series for quite some time will know that every time we seem to play Leicester, Christian Fuchs just seems to score a free kick, and it happened again. So it was 2-2. We scored in the 72nd minute. Nano grabbing that goal, who's been an awesome signing, to be fair, considering we really bought him for peanuts, 3 million quid from Ibar. They scored 2 minutes later. Like, I literally didn't even have time to switch things around or anything like that. It was just like, boom, they equalised right after we took the lead again. And then Christian Fuchs in the 79th minute scored a free kick, and there's nothing really you can do about it if Christian Fuchs is some kind of David Beckham free kick machine on this game this year. So they won that game. We then, funnily enough, losing to teams like Leicester and Villa and whatnot, we then beat Chelsea. We obviously love beating Chelsea. We smashed them in the EFL Cup. Danny Graham finally getting on the score sheet for the first time since 2 months ago, where he scored 2 against Fulham. So it's nice to see him getting back into the mix, even though his performance still wasn't amazing, rated mainly due to the goal. But a win is a win, and then it just kind of seemed like, right, let's go to West Ham, let's show them who's boss. But again, whether it was last season or this season, West Ham are another team who, have always kind of been a bit of a bogey team for me, whether it was with the Turkish manager or even Gary Monk now who's in charge of them. I think it was actually him that beat me 3-0 at Villa, and right after he beat me 3-0 at Villa for that game, he then went to West Ham. So Gary Monk definitely has me sussed out. So, yeah, Mark Noble opened the scoring in the 3rd minute, and it was just a phenomenal strike, really, from outside the box. And as soon as Kerem Demirbay got sent off in the 29th minute, Ciro Immobile, I'm not quite sure how to pronounce it, I don't talk Italian, pizza, spaghetti, tagliatelle and all that, Barzagli. But yeah, they made it 2-0, and once they made it 2-0, we were down to 10 men. We were always going to struggle. So if I put the filters back on and look at things in general, you'll see that we, of course, also played Bournemouth in the FA Cup 6th round. We beat them 2-0, and what that means is that we are now in the FA Cup semi-final. Problem is, so are Arsenal, Man United and Liverpool. So am I expecting to really reach the final? No. But positively, yeah, we've dropped out of the top 6. But not too bothered, because we've already guaranteed European football, even though I would have loved to push for Champions League, but I just don't see it happening. Arsenal they've got a game in hand, they're 6 points ahead of us, so I don't think that's going to happen. But that to one side, Liverpool are top of the league now, 77 points, and what's really given them that advantage is this 1-0 win that they got against Man United. This was really the 6-pointer as far as the top of the table's concerned. I just clicked the wrong thing. I'd like to think that maybe both Liverpool and Man United will kind of have one eye on trying to win the Premier League rather than the FA Cup, which hopefully means that if we can beat Liverpool, we'll be through to the FA Cup final, where we'll most likely play either Man United or Arsenal, and then from that point on, we could end up with the EFL Cup and the FA Cup. But I'm really keen to ensure our heads don't drop in the league table. Schedule-wise, we've got Arsenal up next, which is going to be really tough. But for me, West Brom, Hull, Sheffield Wednesday, we should be getting 9 points from them 3 games. We get 9 points. It's basically a given that the teams around us will basically slip up. I do not want to drop into like 8th or 9th, given that we were top of the league at one point this season. Liverpool in the semi-final for the FA Cup, of course. Man City is going to be a tough one, but we gave them a good game last time out and beat them 2-0, so there's no reason why we can't beat them again, even if it is at their place. And then that'll be an important 6-pointer against Stoke, especially if Brendan Rodgers' lads, keep knocking on the door of our position. We beat them, get 9 points against these lot, then beat Palace, and then get something against Southampton. And really our final run into the end of the season ain't going to be too bad. Now, depending on how this goes, that's what will define what the next episode will more than likely be. But this episode, we're going to go for Arsenal. I'm not really going to do these 3 as live comms because they're kind of rubbish matches. Even though, to be fair, we did draw against Sheffield Wednesday early on in the season. But the next live comm will, without a shadow of a doubt, be our game against Liverpool at Wembley. So, forget Liverpool for now. We've got Arsenal at the Emirates. As you can see, I always lose to Arsenal. But a win here would be pretty goddamn awesome. Also, one more thing. Transfer history. We actually sold, if I can find him, Damien Letalic to AS Nancy in the January window. I just forgot to mention it in the last episode because obviously it was kind of a cup final in case you didn't notice. And if you haven't watched it, go back and watch it. He scored 2 goals for him. But yeah, I felt like it was probably about time that he left the club. Wasn't really playing. He came in at a time where he really served a specific purpose. But now that Marco Rog's come in, and what is with all these? Bloody hell. But yeah, now that Marco Rog's come in, very versatile, can play in the middle of the park as well. Didn't really make sense to keep extra players at the club. But on that note, we're up against Arsene Wenger's men. Can we create an Arsenal fan TV rant with a win? Only one way to find out. I'll see you at the Emirates. Okie dokie, here we are at the Emirates Stadium. Just a disclaimer. If my eyes look really weird, it's because I've got the window open, and for some reason, obviously the way green screens work is it kind of like gets rid of green. So if the light shines on my glasses and it produces some kind of green reflection, it then makes me look like a zombie. So I'm really sorry about that. But for people that don't live in England, it's quite rare that we actually get nice weather. So I don't give a shit if I look like a zombie. I am opening the fucking window. Right, okay, so on to formations. As you can see, we've changed things up a little bit in terms of Kerem Demirbay, who, to be fair, has been quite underwhelming this season. I have to be honest. He got sent off, of course, against West Ham, which is why Marco Rog comes in as our BBM. It could have been Nigel, but a team like Arsenal felt like we might, it might help to have that extra bit of experience in the middle of the park. Dumic comes back into the side. He was dropped for a few games in place of Thomas Callas, simply because Dumic's performances were a bit dodgy. In fact, there was a goal I wanted to show you guys. Let me quickly go find it. Right, yeah, so this is the goal that led to Dumic basically being dropped. I'm not quite sure what he was doing. I know Jamie Vardy's fast, but I don't give a shit. You can just hoof that forward. You play like that in one of my teams, you get dropped. But anyways, back to the match, if Football Manager cooperates. With Danny Graham up front, Andre Gray out on the left. We've actually missed Nabil Gillas. He actually has the most assists in our side. So even though goal-scoring wise he's not been phenomenal, he has partnered up with Andre Gray pretty well this season. James McLean is coming into some nice form towards the end of the season. That right mid role, ever since Gouffran really stopped playing, because to be fair, he just doesn't have the legs anymore. Asaidi hasn't really been too good of a fit, but then again, he was injured for most of the season anyways. As you can see, both our fullbacks are going to be on defend, simply because, again, the problem with Arsenal is that every time on this game, they just get the ball wide. these guys are bloody speed demons. Mesut Ozil, if he gets the ball in the middle of the park, someone manages to find a phenomenal pass. And now they've got Cavani up front, it's incredibly difficult. In terms of opposition instructions, it's really important for us to go in hard on these. I'm not quite sure if I've actually done it now. I have, yeah. Hard on Aaron Ramsey and Cazorla. If we can try and, go in hard on these guys, show them who the bloody boss is, and make sure these guys show them onto their weaker feet. Even though Sanchez doesn't really have a weaker foot, then maybe, just maybe, we can keep him quiet. But with Cavani up front, it's always going to be difficult. Start things off defensively. For some reason, there's no play button. How do I... Do I have to cancel the pending changes then? Wait, hello? Guys, the game's broken. Oh, hello. Okay, oh yeah. Watch Arsenal score from this now. Jesus Christ. Okay. Okay, so a Cazorla free kick. Arsenal 1-0 up. No, Rajkovic caught the ball. That's nice for a change. I've not really been happy with either of our two keepers, to be honest. I felt like they've conceded way too many sloppy goals this season. But Arsenal, high defensive line. McLean should really be playing that direct down towards Andre Gray and utilise his pace. What a shocking pass there from Augustinson. Yeah, ball over the top to Alexis Sanchez. Good clearance from Bath, and we've got to be able to close them down here. Cazorla to Lucas Digna. Good tackle from Asidi, and this is where we pounce. Gray forwards towards Danny Graham. Danny, you got to score this. And he doesn't. We've had so many of them opportunities so far this season. It's how we play. It's one of the things, when you play that 4-4-2, you've got that second striker up front. You have that other option to play direct when you need to on the counter-attack, because when you do, you've got two strikers up, particularly when you play against a team with a high defensive line like this lot. Graham should not have lost the ball there, not good enough. But so far, early days, we'll change our mentality, hopefully, as the game goes on. I'm not really happy with Tiote's positioning either. I think I'm going to tell him to pick up Ozil, because he's going to get this ball now more than likely and do something phenomenal. And we've conceded already. We've bloody conceded already. I don't know what happens to us, in the second half of the season. Chamberlain picks up the ball there, and Rajkovic is doing some kind of like side shimmy, like fucking Michael Jackson. Sorry if my language has been a little bit colourful this morning, but it's what I'm like in mornings, to be fair. Right, okay, we're going to completely rethink this like we always seem to do against Arsenal. The thing is now that we've seen how high of a line they're playing. We're only 1-0 down, and it's only 14 minutes in yet, so we still have time to potentially turn this around. So for that reason, we're going to go a little bit more direct, and I'm going to change Andre to a advanced forward when we actually can. And there we go. The game's just going against us, guys. That's the same type of penalty that we conceded against Stoke in the EFL Cup final. And we conceded another one. Fortunately, Steele saved the penalty. But, there's only so much I can do as a manager watching this game. And to be fair, every time we play Arsenal, good save again, but every time we play Arsenal, it always seems like they just bullshit us like that. So, Andre's going to become an advanced forward. And Danny's going to become a target man for us. These guys are going to change to support, get them, involved a little bit more. And instead of distributing to fullbacks, let's start going over opposition defence, distribute a little bit quicker, and start to get that ball forwards. Probably about time we demand more as well. Everyone's looking frustrated. Difficult to see where it is going wrong against an Arsenal team like this on key highlights, but possession-wise, it's not like we've not really seen that much of the ball either. Okay, this is what we're going to do. Andre's going to play up top on his own. Danny Graham's not had a good game at all. And we're going to go with a front three basically. So, yeah. Not even too bothered about playing out of the defence. Just get that ball forward. Time to be more aggressive, be more expressive, rather. Sit these on automatic, even though on a counter mentality. They're going to be on support anyways. And let's start getting that ball forward. Let's get Rajkovic playing with his feet a little bit as well. In terms of who we're going to bring on as another midfielder, we need creativity right now. You know, so Nigel will come on as an advanced playmaker. He's got Rog, who's a very good technical player alongside himself as well. So now we're going to try and basically match him in midfield by going 3 in midfield ourselves and see where that takes us. But again, it's just constant, you know, bombardment of wide men. Whenever you play Arsenal, Sanchez, it turns into Lionel Messi. And yeah, it's difficult. It really is difficult. We're giving away a lot of these free kicks as well. Not quite sure if we can see the foul count here. We've given away 14 fouls. Probably because we switched to closing down more. And the problem is when you switch to closing down more, it leaves gaps like that. And 2 minutes into the second half, we concede a goal like that. And, you know, we've been talking all season about trying to catch up with Arsenal and trying to steal that 5th or 4th spot from them, Champions League spot. But as you can see, even though we've made a lot of progress recently, we're just not ready. We are not ready. Aside is dead, guys. So where do we go from here? We have to stick Sam Byram on basically and give Lenihan a run around defensive mid. The game's lost. We'll go to an attacking mentality because we've got nothing to lose. We might as well try and put a little bit more emphasis on trying to get that bloody ball forward. But I really don't think there's much we can do. I'm going to take get stuck in off because I'm sick and tired of constantly seeing free kicks. Should have really tackled the ball there from Cazorla, and they make it 3. Yeah. Been really unfortunate, like that 5-0 loss against Man United. It's weird, and it kind of sums up our season. We beat Man United, which was, of course, a live com early on in the season. Solid victory as well. And then lose 5-0 against them. And we did okay last time out against Arsenal, even though they are a bogey team. And now we're just getting dicked off them. We just cannot win the ball back. We are probably a bit too narrow as well, which isn't really doing us any favours. Good save from Rajkovic. So we're going to go a little bit wider as well. Higher line. Just because we need to create more opportunities. We need to start getting that ball forward. I don't know why it's been so difficult, to be honest. Yeah, Andre's up on his own, but Arsenal are playing a high line. We should be able to win this ball back. But quickly, they transition, and they've got so much pace on the break, especially out in the wide areas. We can't do anything about it. And when they've got a striker scoring goals like that, I don't know. From a tactical, managerial perspective, I don't know what we can do to prevent this. You know what I mean? And you can argue that stemmed from us playing a higher line as well. But even when we had a deeper line, they were still doing it. So I don't know what to do. I'm baffled. And I genuinely think the rest of this episode is just going to be us getting dicked by Arsenal. One of the things I said going into this season from last season was that I wanted to improve defensively. And to be fair, based on the first half of the season, defensively we were really solid. But this second half of the season, I'm not quite sure what's happened. I'm really not. And the problem against Arsenal here is that none of these highlights, I think, have actually been us with the ball. Good tackle there. And we need to be able to break. Yeah. Right idea there from Andre. But there's the high line we're playing. And we're going to concede. Went with the high line. Try and see if we can maybe get a goal. And yeah, it didn't work, did it? It's frustrating, really. We've not created anything. Not created anything at all. So Rog out wide to Sam Byram. Can't find the overlapping fullback. That's a problem there. Nigel. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know, really. That was a simple pass there for me for a Premier League standard player. And we just gave the ball away to them. And every pass they make is just on point and superb. And I don't know how we've lost this game 6-0. We've not shown up. It is really that simple. We've not shown up. I mean, we could have gone for a damage limitation approach. Because I think I switched to attacking when we were 3-0 down. But I was kind of just looking for... I'm not quite sure what the goalkeeper's doing there either. I was kind of just looking for, you know, a goal back maybe. But instead we've ended up conceding another 3. And our fullback's got to be able to deal with Chamberlain running at him like this. But a lot of these highlights have been Chamberlain, you know, coming in and Could have almost been 7 there. Coming in, whipping the ball into the box and doing that. Can we counter from this? At least get a goal back? Nah. See, Arsenal kept men forward there when we lost the ball in midfield, and that's how we've conceded a lot of the counter-attacking opportunities. Come on, let's grab a goal. McLean, in on goal, whip it in. Nah. To be fair, that was a decent opportunity, that. I think what's most disappointing is that we've conceded 6 goals and they've had 6 clear-cut chances. Now, not all their goals have been from them 6 clear-cut chances, but it just goes to show, you know, when a team against you, in my opinion, have somehow managed to create 6 clear-cut chances, even though you can argue that, oh, well, yeah, the other team have played pretty well, questions still need to be asked of our defence, you know what I mean? We worked on defensive positioning coming into this game, and it's not like we're a bad team. It's not like we've had a poor season. But, yeah, we can't fault the boys after that. I'm far from pleased with that result, guys. And, unfortunately, Stoke now have a game in hand over us. As far as I'm concerned, we're never going to make the top 4. Arsenal have just created just about enough of a barrier. And, to be fair, you want top 4, What's happened to Asidi? Oh, he's out for 2 to 5 months. I might just release him in the summer, to be fair. We signed him. I should have known he was injury prone. 4-0 off West Ham, 6-0 off Arsenal. We basically conceded 10 goals in 2 games. And like I said, these 3, for me, have got to be 9 points. But going into next season, if we are going to maintain Europa League, and one of the main reasons I think why our Premier League downfall has happened this season is because we were focusing on so many cups at once, and we still are in the FA Cup, even though we won the EFL Cup, right? But what's the point of winning the EFL Cup if you still get a bad finish in the Premier League? So we're going to have to make a lot of changes personnel-wise. We're going to have to make a lot of changes tactically. I'm not sure we can still maintain the same 4-4-2 approach. It's really more of an underdog approach where you get a lot of men behind the ball and look to counter-attack. I think we're at a point now where teams play, and this is genuinely what the match engine does. When you are doing well, the team starts setting up differently against you, and that's why Arsenal were counter-attacking. And the way we're currently set up doesn't really accommodate to how teams will now look at us versus, for example, at the start of the season where we were relegation favourites, right? So we'll have to wait and see. Tactically, there's no point in doing anything too significant from now till the end of the season. Let's just try and make sure we get 5th place. It won't make a difference if we do or not. We'll get more money, obviously, for finishing 5th place, but I want to finish in the top 5. But until next time, I've been Kyle. If you like the video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Also, another thing, like the EFL Cup final didn't seem to hit a lot of people's sub boxes. So if you're kind of watching this video and wondering what the hell happened to the EFL Cup final, yeah, it probably didn't hit your sub box. Even though you kind of know we won it now, which is kind of a bit bad. But yeah, see you next time.